Hey everyone, it's James Lambert, the international speaker, coach, author and positive transformation expert. How are you doing? It's another motivational Monday, start of a beautiful new week. You join me on my morning walk, very friendly Mr. Max, and just really wanted to talk about changing landscapes and the changing landscapes of our very lives. As I look out across this changing landscape, this is precisely what brought it to mind. Recently, if I can show you, the farmer has just begun to plough the field, I believe. So you've got this deep crevice and he's just going over it after he left the soil for a while, after he recently harvested it in the summer. And now he's just preparing the soil once again before planting the seed, ready for another entire new cycle. Planting the seed, waiting for it to come to maturation, and then reaping the harvest next summer. And I'm just endlessly fascinated by these cycles that repeat themselves, both in life and in nature. I see them as being very symbiotic and reciprocal. And in truth, over the last few years, since I've become a more peaceful, happier, contented man, I've tried to, where best I can, to go with the seasons. So what does that mean? Maybe in one's training, with slight adaptations here and there, but physical, personal training I mean, with the weights and so on, I may not go as relentlessly hard in the depths of winter as I may do in the summer, where I naturally feel more inclined to really train hard and safely as well. And I just invite you to notice the changing of the season, particularly here in the United Kingdom as we go into autumn, and honour how your body's feeling. You know, as the nights are drawing in and it gets darker earlier, if you feel like hibernating earlier or reading a book or going to bed earlier, don't resist that. Don't say, oh, well, I always go to bed between 10 and half 11, so I must do that. You know what? There's no judgment, but I really ask you to tune in to your body and listen to it. If it really is trying to impart important messages, I believe, through feelings, intuition, gut instinct and so on, call it what you will. But as I say, the changing landscapes of our life, and that is part, not resisting the changing seasons. As of course we go out of the summer into the autumn, and maybe changes in your work environment, changes in your work practice, or in the very structure of management, leadership, whatever it may be, changes in your finances. You may not have got what you projected or were hoping for this year as yet, and now I know, I'm all too aware it's not over yet. You can still hit all of your goals, indeed obliterate them, surpass them. And yet, honour where you are currently. But I just want you to notice, and again what I speak about so passionately before, to do as best you can to not resist what is presenting itself in life, whatever that may be. And that just doesn't mean fatalistic acceptance and going, oh well, what will be will be. You of course have an enormous amount of say-so in change and so on, but particularly with things like the weather. It is what it is. But as I say, back to the original point, just noticing this changing landscape on my daily walk, there's something almost inevitable about the changing seasons. Indeed, in our own lives, one year rolls into the next, and if we're lucky enough to get older, you may feel certain things change. But I invite you to look at that as being a beautiful thing. So even if you are not as flexible as you once were, in what other areas are you really like a fine wine coming to full maturity, or a good cheese? You could be more knowledgeable or have more innate wisdom at this point in your life than ever before. So don't bemoan the fact that the years are passing. Look for the joy in them. Look at this field. I haven't seen this field recently. Indeed, there, I don't know if you can see, there is the tractor. with that huge thing on the back, just ploughing it all up. And if you can see further, there's all the birds. Oh, they all come, obviously they're freshly turned worms. That again, innate intelligence I've spoken about. They just know when to come. But it just reminds me, changing, you know, we're going into one new season, but to embrace it, because we're going to put this further in context. Autumn, admittedly, not so bad, because it's still quite mild in truth, temperature-wise. But my goodness, at the heralding of the winter months, I used to get quite depressed and despondent, not realising that it's still a day above ground is a good one, a time to learn, a time to be kind, a time to go after your goals and projects. They don't have to stand still. And so I really just want to leave you with an overriding sense of encouragement, but also of potential and your innate capabilities. You just can do so much more than you may hitherto think you can. So I invite you to really go up, show up with great confidence and enthusiasm in your life, and really go for it. Live your life now. Be aware of the changing landscapes, like the very soil beneath my feet, and yet don't resist them. Go with it, learn from them, adapt if you need to, but by Jove, keep on going really vibrantly and full of enthusiasm towards your goals and success, however you define it. I'll leave that there for now, so have a beautiful rest of the day. Much, much love from my heart to yours. And know that you are unstoppable, and I believe in you.